Oh no, oh no, oh no. Micron lays the smackdown on Tim Cook and says, quote, not constructive. So coming from Money Wise, quote, non-constructive. Tim Cook blames Micron for Apple's $300 price hike. Micron suggests Apple helped cause the shortage. Don't you know who you're talking to, Micron? How dare you ever accuse Apple of doing anything ham-handed? That is just a bridge too far. So I kind of think this is an interesting story, just to kind of give you a better idea of how the capitalist system works in the world of technology. And one of the reasons why, although I am frustrated about what's going on with the memory and the storage market right now because of the AI fraud that's occurring, I also don't necessarily know a good way out of this situation. It's one of those times I'm very happy to be a moron in my basement screaming into a camera, because lordy, if I was an executive at one of these companies, I'm just not sure what a good answer would be, right? So one of the big things going on right now in the computer world, right, is the cost of memory, the cost of DRAM specifically. So essentially, all of the AI companies are buying just as much memory as they can get their hands on, right? So all of the servers, whenever we hear about AI servers, that needs DRAM. Beyond that, for the AI components themselves, they need something called high bandwidth memory. And so basically what's happening is it's something like 70%. I think it's Micron. 70% of their production is already pre-purchased by these AI companies. That's literally where we're at. So one, the price of DRAM is going through the roof, and then two, high bandwidth memory, they get a better profit margin selling that. And so what they're doing is they're adjusting some of their fabs to produce more high bandwidth memory than DRAM. And so you have this double whammy of less DRAM, and the cost of it is going up anyway. And so basically all hell is breaking loose here. But one of the things I've talked about before is you'll notice with a lot of these companies is they are really slow rolling increasing capacity. I think with Micron, one of these companies, they're talking about like a 10 to 15% capacity increase, which isn't much, right? The cost of RAM, depending on what you're purchasing in particular, has either gone up by 3x, or some of these products it's gone up by like 10x in a relatively short period of time. So normally you would think, oh look, if there's such a massive demand for this particular type of hardware and people are willing to pay a lot of money, then why aren't these companies? Why isn't Micron? Why isn't Samsung? Why isn't SK Hynix massively ramping up their production capacity? And the problem is for them, when you ramp up production capacity, that means you have to create more lines. You have to create more factories and fabs and all that kind of stuff. And that costs a lot of money. And one of the things that they're looking at is they know this is a fraud. They know AI is going to go boom, right? They're looking at the same information that we're looking at. They are seeing how Colossus One, xAI's data center, is now renting out 340,000 GPUs because xAI didn't need them anymore, right? Literally, we're told AI is only constrained based off of compute and hardware capacity. And yet xAI had 340,000 NVIDIA GPUs. And we're talking about these GPUs. These are like $40,000 a pop GPUs. Hundreds of thousands of them that they just had sitting there available to rent. The last video I literally did right before this is Meta. Meta is getting into the AI infrastructure business. I crap you not, because of, to quote, excess capacity. Even in June and July of 2026, when all we're hearing is that AI is compute constrained, the reality is that the executives for these AI tech companies are already renting out their GPUs because they don't need them anymore, right? So if you're Micron, if you're SK Hynix, if you're Samsung, and you're sitting there and you're looking at this, are you going to build a whole bunch more production capacity that's going to cost you a lot of money, but you're pretty sure all this shit's gonna collapse pretty soon, right? You're probably not going to do that. And this is where I talk about watch what people do. Don't worry so much about what they say. Look at what they're actually doing, right? And so the curious thing here with Micron and Apple, and Micron is basically hitting back at Apple. And Apple is a really tough bargainer, right? So they purchase just a tremendous amount of all of the resources that they need for iPads, iPhones, MacBooks, and all that kind of stuff. And so they really drive a hard bargain. And so in a normal competitive market, if you go back to 2023, and SK Hynix is doing normal business, and Samsung is doing normal business, and Micron is doing normal business, right? That was a competitive environment. So companies like Apple come in and they're like, hey, if you want to get a contract from us, you have to drive the price of your product down to, below the dirt, essentially. And the problem is when you drive the price of products down so low, then companies don't have enough money to reinvest or to invest into new product lines and that type of thing. And also, it puts the idea in your head, you can never trust these bastards. So again, even though right now it's a boom time period, they know as soon as the economy shifts, as soon as the AI disaster unfolds, Apple is going to go back to being a complete and utter bastard, right? And then if they've built out all these lines, they're going to lose money. And so what's kind of interesting here is just looking at this from Micron's standpoint, and then also seeing how much money they were losing not that long ago. That's one of the big problems that you see like in the technology world, especially with pundits, people saying their opinions about what's going on in the technology world. They always talk about like today. Today, this is ridiculous that the prices are 300%. The government needs to come in and do something about it, right? They always talk about today. You'll notice that they're never really talking about what the ramifications are going to be 2 years from now. And they're also not talking about what the situation was 2 years ago. It's always today is ridiculous. Anyways, take a look at this. On June 25th, Apple announced sweeping price increases across its MacBook and iPad lineups, along with Apple TV, HomePod, and Vision Pro, with CEO Tim Cook laying the blame on the companies that supply the memory chips inside its products. Quote, there's less supply at a time when consumers want devices and the memory guys are passing along huge price increases. Yes, because the AI companies are buying up everything they got to sell. Cook had told the Wall Street Journal the week before, calling the increases unavoidable and the situation unsustainable. Apple said the growth of AI data centers had, quote, created an extraordinary surge in demand for memory and storage, and that it had never seen a component price rise this fast. But hours earlier, one of those, quote, memory guys had pointed back at Apple, Micron's version of events. In a Wall Street Journal interview following a blockbuster earnings report, Micron chief business officer suggested that aggressive buyers, without naming Apple, helped create the very shortage now squeezing consumers. When memory prices collapsed during the last industry downturn in 2023, he argued, big customers used the slump to negotiate rock bottom prices, gutting suppliers' margins at the exact moment they needed cash to build new capacity. So that's one of the things too, right? If you're building out capacity, one of the things I talk about with business is this crap takes a long time. It takes a while to build stuff. And so this is one of the things to be thinking about with these memory manufacturers. If you're in 2023 and you're trying to plan out for the future and you're like, okay, what do we need to build for the future? And right during that time period, basically all of your customers are being complete and utter asses and demanding that the price that they pay is absolute rock bottom, then you're not going to have money to invest into future expansion. Right, that's basically what they're talking about here. And so one of the things to be thinking about with the memory supply constraints is we are dealing with the consequences of a reality that existed 3 years ago. Right, so 3 years ago things were set in motion or were not set in motion, and now we're seeing what the results of that are. Quote, we told a couple of customers who were being very aggressive with pricing at that time that this is not constructive. He told the Journal, quote, a lot of the industry investments got shut down in 2023 because of really poor pricing and really poor margins. So basically, they simply were We're not bringing in enough money to actually invest in building more. Micron's gross margin had in fact turned sharply negative that year, bottoming at minus 17.8% in its third fiscal quarter. Oh, you want to talk about an ass pucker moment. Your gross margins are down minus 18% essentially. Sedana never said Apple. He didn't have to. Apple has a well-known reputation for extracting favorable terms from suppliers through long-term purchasing contracts, and it is one of Micron's customers. And so this is basically where Micron is hitting back at Apple. And basically, what they're saying is, look, you're going to be an asshole. Assholes get the ramifications of being assholes. So it will be kind of interesting to see how this moves forward in the future. Like one of the things I've talked about in the technology world, right? Basically, it's a whole bunch of passive aggressive aspie cats. That's what we are. That's what we are. If you don't like it, get the hell out. That's what we are. And so what's interesting is like for many years, I have seen this from the inside where executives are just bad bastards to vendors. Just, again, things I can't even talk. Like, you're just like, it doesn't even make sense why there's so many. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, sometimes you see somebody being mean and you're like, oh, like, I don't agree with it. I think you're a bastard. But I get why that makes sense for the business. I have literally seen situations where vendors, business owners, literally were destroyed. Their companies ended up going bankrupt, basically because the executive I worked under was like, yeah, fuck them. Jesus. Oh, Lordy. It gets so bad. Again, the kids out there. You're about to learn what industry you actually got involved in. Anyways, one of the curious things is, we've seen this whole AI kumbaya moment over the past couple of years with NVIDIA and OpenAI and Amazon, everybody coming together to play nice. And one of the things I've talked about is this is just dumb. This is just not how the industry works. It's not how the tech sector works. And honestly, it makes me more nervous when I see this kumbaya crap than it does if I see him pull out daggers. I'd much rather see him pull out daggers. I do wonder, though, with this whole boom, if there is going to need to be more cooperation with vendors. So I'm not talking about the competitors, right? Amazon and Google are going to go back out to try to stab each other in the back. That's just how the business is. But when you got the Microns of the world, the SK Hynix of the world, you got the NVIDIAs of the world, you got all these different vendors out there. I do wonder in this modern world if there's going to start to be more of a focus on really trying to figure out the long-term relationships, right? Again, you have a company like Apple. Apple produces just so much hardware, right? So if you've got Dell and you've got Gateway and you've got Acer and you've got Asus, you got, let's say, quote unquote, small computer manufacturing companies, right? For them to be able to float between different vendors and always try to get the best price point, I mean, that's just kind of how the business is, right? What becomes interesting though is when you have Apple who's shipping just, I mean, the quantity of hardware that they're shipping out, I do think there has to be a real question of can they continue to keep their vendors at arm's length. Now there are other vendors, there are other, companies, stocks and all that kind of stuff. So obviously there is going to be a separation. But especially with these just massive technology companies, is there going to start to have to be a moment where they come together and start figuring out what actually works for everybody involved? I think that will be the interesting thing to see if that will happen post this whole AI disaster that's going on right now. Because that's the thing, I mean, to be thinking about it, right? So Apple is complaining about the price point. So basically Micron is saying, look, you weren't willing to pay what we needed to get paid in order to investment in the past. That's what leads us to today. Now Tim Cook is fucking bitching and whining and moaning and complaining because that's what fucking Silicon Valley oligarchs do. You're not doing what I want. Why? Don't you know I'm important? Right, that's basically what they do. And so one of the things to think about though is what if Micron actually bites it, actually goes forward with what Tim Cook wants, and let's say they get a tremendous amount of memory production online relatively quickly. Well, here's an interesting question for Apple, right? Once you've pushed that, what happens when the AI fraud goes boom? Right? The demand for memory just sinks like a fucking rock. And now Micron has all of this excess capacity that they just paid for. Is that the time that Apple is going to come in and say, we appreciate that you were willing to step up as one of our vendors. Therefore, we are not going to try to get rock bottom prices out of you. We are going to pay you a fair market value so that your company doesn't go boom. Do you think Tim Cook is gonna? Do you think Tim Cook is gonna do that? Probably not. But the problem is, then, what if Micron does do all of that overinvestment? Everything goes boom. What if there is the possibility of bankruptcy or whatever for Micron? Right now, Tim Cook looks smart. Like, well, we're driving the best bargain we can get. But what happens if your vendor goes boom in the current market? I don't know. It'd be interesting. Curious to see how all of this works out. So, what do you think about this? What do you think about Micron throwing just a wee bit of shade right back at Apple? What do you think about all of this kind of stuff? Do you have an answer? Do you have a solution? Anyways, put your comments. Put your comments down in the comment section. If you like these episodes, remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. The link is down below. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.